Maker Max here. Let's change the oil in a third generation Mazda 3 from years 2013 to 2018. Easy peasy, save yourself $60 at the dealer. Well, it's time to do an oil change because the service light is on right here. The engine's not running, so that's why those are lit up. When you go to the auto parts store, you need to know what kind of car you have, so you can check on right here for your VIN. That's inside the door. You can also look inside the engine and tells you what kind of oil you take, but you're going to need to know the VIN number to get the right filter. After you jack the car up, make sure you put jack stands on it. I like to lay on a piece of cardboard. You're going to need something to put the oil in and a funnel. You're going to need a flathead and a Phillips, an 8mm Allen. I prefer if it's on a socket. You can get these at Harbor Freight. Filter, oil, and something to clean the mess up with. Let's get started. Alright, I spray painted my piece white. You're going to have to remove this underneath the car. There's two. There's a smaller one over here, but you got to remove the bigger one here, which requires using a Phillips screwdriver and a flathead for prying out these little plastic things. Try really hard not to break them, because then you have to go to Mazda to buy some new ones. But if you just pry with that, they'll come out. All right, there we go. And once you get that taken off, you have your drain plug and you got your filter. Let's get the oil out. We're going to take our 8mm, we're going to put it up in here, and we're going to start loosening this up. There we go. Once you get it loose, make sure you put your drain pan underneath and then loosen it by hand. And let that drain out. Alright, now we're down to a slow dribble, so we're going to replace the drain plug. Before you finish tightening it, just take a rag. Just wipe up any oil, that'll keep it off your tools. And again, you can use a regular old-fashioned Allen wrench. I prefer to use one that goes on the end of a socket. Doesn't have to be crazy tight. Once it seats, you want to give it about a quarter to just less than a half a turn. Time to take off the oil filter. What you do is just grab it. If it doesn't move, you're going to have to use an oil filter wrench. So just grab that in there. This is going to leak oil all over, so you got to be quick. There it comes. Ugh. And wipe off the oil off your hand. You want to take your new oil filter. You want to put a bit of oil around the seal. Just going to use some of the old oil. And they're going to screw that back up on there. How tight do you make it? You want it to seat. So now it's seated. And then give it another half turn to a full turn. They don't have to be crazy tight. The way these things work, these rivets, is you just pull them all the way in so they're sticking up. Like that. And you can put them back in. Pro tip, I spray painted my bottom white and wrote down what you need. That way every time I crawl into the car, I know exactly which sockets to go and grab. It's time to add some oil. This vehicle takes 4 quarts of oil. And most of the time, it comes in a 5-quart container like this. So you got to keep tabs on how much you're adding. We have a little over a quart left. It's always better to add a little less oil because you can put more in later. It's hard to take it back out. What you want to do is run your engine about 30 seconds. All right, check the oil. You want it between the two dots. Also need to add a little more. After doing an oil change, we got to reset the maintenance light. So turn my car on. I'm going to go over to the screen here. Go to Applications, Maintenance, and then go down to Oil Change. And you can just do Reset. And are you sure? Yeah. All right, if you want, you can also change the interval, but I like the 5,000 miles. All right, and now my little service light is off. When you're all done, take your oil, pour it back in the container it came from. This will help you monitor how much you've used. So hopefully you took 4 quarts out. And then here in New York, any place that sells oil is required to take used oil back. If I look right here, I'm about 3 3/4. So it used about a quart of oil the last 5,000 miles. That's not bad. One more pro tip, take your funnels, put them all on top of a plastic container, and all the oil will drip into that, and then you can clean that out later. Nice little pro tip.